Right.
Open the doors.
Joining.
Okay,
Yeah.
fun. Woo. Let's go. Breathe in, breathe out. Let's go. All right, we got all the people. Look at this. Love this. All the beautiful people. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. How are we doing? Great to see you all today. Excellent. We got some boot campers. We got some guests. Who can I greet? G'day, Matt. Nice to see you. Hey, Amy, Alan. Hey, Alana. How are you? Excellent. We got Jackie, Lauren. Good to see you, Lauren. Hey, Sandy. Day off for the kids today, so you're in the office. Yes, my kids are in the other room at the moment. Nice to see you, Georgie, up nice and early in Bali. I can see sun's shining though, which is nice. Early for you too, Andrew. I love the early starts for these people on that side of the world and the late starts for everyone else. Nice to see you, Robert. We got No, we got Kyong. Good to see Kyong. Hey, Antoine. Nice to see you. I could go ram off everybody's name. I'm going to be here all day. We've got 55 people, 57 that have joined. So it's great to see everybody join this masterclass. I'm really excited about this. We've been working on this sort of stuff for a little while. So in today's group, we have our bootcamp crew. So thank you very much, boot campers, for jumping in on masterclass. We're going to do one of these once a month. So different masterclass every month, but we also give it as an opportunity to bring guests into our world. So I want you to just do something for me. If you have your camera on, so great to see most people have their cameras on. Thank you. Secondly, we've got the chat in there. So just so I know the chat's working, so that I know that you all know how to use the chat, can you just write in the chat where you are from? What part of the world are you from? I'd love to hear, just so we get a good understanding of where everybody is. Awesome, cool. We got all the people at all the places. Melbourne, Atlanta, Perth, Egypt, Sunny Coast, Wisconsin, Torquay, Perth again. A few in Perth. Geez, you guys are keen. Dakota, Seattle, Dallas, chilly Melbourne. It is a bit cold today. I'm in Melbourne too. Who else have we got? Awesome. Sydney. Nice, nice, Tracy. Okay, cool. All right, great. So we've got people from all over the world. Very exciting. So last thing I want you to do, just so we can know who's who in the zoo, we just want you to change the name in your Zoom profile if you could, please. So if you're in our bootcamp team, I want you to put a little B in front of your name. So it'll have B and then your name. If you are in our elite crew, actually I haven't put that one in there, so don't worry about that because I don't think there's any elite teams in here. If you're a guest, so if you're new to our world and you're coming into this call as a guest, put a G in front of your name if you could. So just click your little name in Zoom and just edit profile name. If you're one of our team members, thank you very much, team, for jumping on this call. Just put a little T in front of your name. So that means, guys, we know who's who in the Zoom. And if you need help from one of my team members, you'll see a little T in there. If you want to jam with anyone in the boot camp who is part of this program, you can see the Bs for the boot campers. And if you're a guest, welcome. And at least we know you're a guest, so we can see who's here. We'll give you a couple of minutes to do that, and then we will get the party started. All right, cool. Excellent. Love that everyone's done that. Nice, nice, nice. Cool. All right, team. So this is how the day's going to go. We are going to talk a little, we're going to learn a little, we're going to jam a little, but at the end of it, we're going to learn lots and we're going to implement in our business. So as I mentioned, this is one of our weekly bootcamp calls that we run every week. So those that are in the bootcamp, you'll be used to seeing me every day at this, every once a week at this time. But for everyone else, this is a nice masterclass that we're going to run and give you guys access to it. All right, so let's get started because we have a lot to go through and I want to make sure that you guys can learn a lot. So today's session is called the Meta Ads Masterclass. And a couple of things that I thought about was why you were probably here, okay? Now, bootcamp is here because you guys love hanging out and love jamming, so I know that. But everyone else, and probably bootcampers as well, the first reason is that you probably run a store but you're not getting enough sales. So if I'm putting down, if you're taking in what I'm putting down, you just write in the chat, yeah, that's me. Okay, just so I know where you're at, right? So you're probably running a store and not getting enough sales. Secondly, you've probably tried ads, but they just never work. Okay, if that's you, just please let me know in the chat. I definitely know that used to be me. The next thing, you might want to try ads, but you don't know how and you don't want to waste any money. Okay. We hear all about how ads have changed businesses. They scale your businesses. We want to try them, but we don't want to waste our money on ads. Okay. The other reason you might be here is that you want to just change your financial situation. Okay. Why do we start an e-commerce business? We don't start it to pay Mark Zuckerberg. We don't start it just for fun. Well, some of us do. I sort of do. But we start it because we want to change our financial situation, right? That's probably the other reason you're here. And then really the reason we're in e-commerce is we want to create a freedom business. It's the reason we're in this game, right? It's one of those businesses that we can run from anywhere in the world. We have one of our elite members and he just sent me a photo and he's just flown to Dubai and his business is $200,000-$300,000 a month and he's floating around Dubai, but it runs out of Australia. I have another client and their whole team operates out of the Philippines and he's up in the far north Queensland, just chilling out. So we create a freedom business. It's really exciting, and that's what I love about it. So I can see some of you are too scared, don't want to waste your money. You've run ads, they didn't really work. Some did work. All of the above, all the things. All right. Well, that means that you are definitely in the right place. So welcome to the community. You are not alone. We are all feeling this. All right. So what we're going to cover today, team, is we want to make you a meta ads master. We want to give you all the things that you need to succeed in meta ads. And we've got a couple of team members on this call just to give you a heads up. We've got Christine. If you want to just wave Christine. Christine is our assistant. She's going to help with all the things in the chat. We've got Gab in the call. Gab is our marketing master. She does all the things. We've also got Antoine floating about somewhere. Antoine, you might just want to say hi. Antoine is actually our head coach for meta ads in our elite team. So if there's any sort of skewy questions, I might refer to Antoine occasionally. We've also got Alana in our team. She heads up projects. So our team's here to help you guys out if you need it. So what we're going to cover though is we're going to cover three things. The first thing is we're going to learn how to create ads that convert into sales. First, number one. The second thing we're going to do is we're going to implement a super simple meta ad strategy that anyone can do. And I mean anyone. Like this is going to be super simple. Like it's never been this simple. I was always scared to run meta ads because they were really complicated. You have to set up all these complex structures and targeting and all this sort of stuff. But today we're going to make it super simple. And then finally, what we're going to do is we're going to give you, a couple of strategies on how to understand how much to spend and how to scale your ads. Okay, does that sound okay? How's everyone feeling about that? Just write in the chat what we're thinking about that as a plan for today. Sounds good. Absolutely. Yes, Fireball. Great. Sounds good. Awesomeness. I agree. Cool. Let's do this. I want to give you just a quick overview before we get into the guts. We've been running this bootcamp for about 18 months now, and we really love it, and we really love the results we've gotten. And most of the people that have come through the bootcamp started on a call like this, and I'm going to give you a quick overview. This is Rachel. She joined our bootcamp last year. This year, I think it was. When did Rachel join? Was it this year? Maybe the start of this year, I think she joined. Yes.
Yeah, something like that.
She started the start of this year, and she's now in our elite team because now she is tracking at $30,000 a month. She started at sort of $2,000-$3,000 when she started our program, and she still works full time in her job. It's a pretty nice side hustle to have. We also have Erkan. Those of you in the bootcamp you'd have seen. We congratulated him the other month. He's now moved into our elite team. He launched a barbecue store. He's grown 121%. And has now opened a retail store, and his grand opening is actually this weekend. So anyone that's in Sydney, look out for Sydney barbecues and head down there. There's gonna be lots of fun meat and stuff that's being cooked there if you're into that. We've got Al and Jess. They're a great success story for us. They do handmade products. They went from bootcamp to elite, and they just launched their Christmas product in July, interestingly, and they did $30,000 over 48 hours. Pretty amazing result. And then we've got, we always talk about Mitchell because it's just a great success story with Mitchell. He launched a cookie cutter business and is now tracking $60,000 a month, and he still drives trucks full time, and he's just had a brand new baby. So pretty exciting stories, right? So they were exactly on these calls when they started, and then they moved on. And then we've got lots of other great things there. But now it's your turn, and we're going to give you the tools and the keys to the castle for you guys to be able to do this. Let's get into the juice. Oh, here's another slide. You guys already know who I am, but I'll give you the quick down low. I've been ranked top 50 in e-commerce. I launched an e-commerce brand, made $1 million in 18 months, helped over 150 e-com stores, worked for some pretty big e-commerce brands, and most of you probably know because you come from it, is now a YouTuber. And I think we just turned over, I don't know, 17,000 subs. So thank you everyone for subscribing. It's sounding pretty good. It's going a lot of fun right now. But anyway, that's enough of the proof. Now, when it comes to Meta ads team, things have changed. Okay, things have really, really changed. I want you to grab this concept because this is the concept of the whole of today's training. I want you to think creative first. And why I'm talking about this is when we say creative, we mean the content, we mean the videos, we mean the images, we mean the text. Platforms have changed over the last 12 months, and they've changed pretty drastically. The way it used to work was we used to feed our information into Facebook and into Instagram, and it used to know a lot about us because we gave it all this information. We used to say what videos we used to like or movies we like to watch. We used to say what we're interested in. We used to join like pages, and we used to do all this sort of stuff. And that meant it could feed us information that we liked because we told it what we liked. Now, a little platform came along called TikTok, and it changed everything. Okay, TikTok came along, and TikTok did the opposite, and it did the thing which it's called permissionless content. What it means is TikTok just assumed what you liked based on the way you behaved with the content, right? So they would put content in front of you, and if you liked it, you would, engage with it. If you didn't, you'd swipe. And what that did was that signaled to the platform that the type of content you're interested in. So instead of it actually asking you for the information, it just learned what you liked based on the content that you engage with. This is making sense to everyone? So it changed. So now when you look in, when you went into TikTok, you just started to get more and more of the things that you were liking, that you were engaging in. And so you could look at my TikTok feed, look at someone else's feed, and it's completely different, right? Because it feeds you what you like. And I'm sure many of you have seen where you've been talking and then something comes up in your social media. And you're like, I don't know how I knew that and was listening to me, right? That's because it learns your behavior in the algorithm. So when TikTok did that, Meta said, oh shit, we got to do something about this because it's the engagement is kicking in. So they then changed their algorithm. And you would have seen over the last 6, maybe 9 months now, Instagram now does that, right? Originally, you only used to see the content of the pages you followed. Now you don't. Now you see pages of everyone that you might like the content of. Yeah. Does everyone notice that? Type in the chat if you're noticing that, right? You're now getting lots of content fed to you. And you know what? It's actually not a bad experience because you start to see more and more of what you like. My feed is now filled with absolute coffee stuff and, dogs and pets and all this sort of fun stuff that I'm currently interested in my life, right? 12 months ago, it was into gym and CrossFit when I was starting to do lots of training, but now it's evolving with my interests. So that's how the organic algorithm changed. But then Facebook said, hey, if this is what the organic's working, we now need to put it into our paid world. And so the way the way ads work now is it's driven by the content and not by what you tell Facebook. So now that you know that, this is how we're going to think differently about our ads because Facebook favors great content because they want to keep people in the platform and they want them engaging in the platform. And so what it does is it rewards people's advertising if you have great content. Okay, all making sense? Awesome. So in order of thinking about creative first, this is what I want you to think about. The first thing is it's no longer about interest targeting. Who's run Facebook ads maybe 2 years ago? Write in the chat if you've run Facebook ads maybe 2 years ago. Yep, Gail has, a few others. Yep, Fireball, yep. When we did that, what did we used to have to do? We used to have to say, I want you to target everyone that's interested in ABC, and I want you to target this, and I want you to do that, and I want you to do that. That's gone. We're not doing that anymore because no one puts their interest anymore and Facebook doesn't know anything about it. Okay, so that's gone. We don't want to do that. It's a waste of time. Second thing is the best creative wins. Okay. When I jump on our calls with Antoine and the group, the only thing we do is we look at the creative and we're like, if it's terrible creative, it's a terrible ad. That's it. That's all we got to think about now. Bad creative, bad ad. Okay. If your ad's not working, your creative is terrible. What's working the best right now is native, real content. Okay. I think people are saying that we see like 300-400 ads a day now, and we're so used to seeing them in our subconscious that we just flick past them. Now, when the ad feels like it's native content, we stop. How many times have you stopped on native content, a piece of content, you're like, oh, this is awesome, and realize it's an ad, right? Because it feels like it's meant to be in the platform. What we're doing now is we're using our organic feed to test what works. Okay, because our content gets fed out to people based on their interests, we're now putting our content in our social feed first. And if it works, then we turn it into an ad. Okay? Because if it works in our organic feed, it's going to work in our paid feed. Okay? So that's a little tip for you guys. And then finally, this is something that we really need to work on that definitely works, is we need to combine video and image ads for best results. Now, when you're using Instagram right now, where's the first place that you go? Just type it in the chat. When you jump into Instagram right now, where's the first thing you click? This is a sense. I'm doing a bit of a sense. Reels, your feed, reels, stories, reels, feed. Yeah, absolutely. And what are reels? And what are stories? They're videos. Yeah. How many people are doing video ads right now? A few, right? Yeah, but how many people are doing image ads right now that are running ads? Yeah. What we're finding is more people are doing image ads because they're a little easier than doing feed ads. Now, that's not to say image ads don't have a place, but it means we need to have both. Okay. We need to have a good combination of video ads and image ads. I'm going to show you the structure that we're going to use for that today. And then the final thing that I want you to remember, and we're going to talk about this in a second, is different creative attracts different audience and also a different stage of where they're at in their buying journey. Okay. So if I see an ad for the first time and I don't know anything about that product, am I going to buy that product? Probably not. But if I see an ad that's educating me on a product, am I going to be interested in a little bit more? Yes, maybe I am. And I'll talk a little bit more of that in a bit more detail. So different creative attracts a different audience. Not all creative. I'm going to say creative a lot this time. Maybe we should have a drinking game. Every time I say the word creative, we have a shot of vodka or something. Although in saying that, it's only 8:50 in the morning here, so it's probably not great to get started on that. So yeah, anyway, it was probably because I was at a Shopify event with a distillery last night, so it's still fresh in my mind. Dose, Andrew, love that. All right, so different creative attracts a different audience. So not all creative is created equal, which is where I was going to with that comment. So let's go into something here. This is something that Antoine put together for us, and appreciate this, Anton. I threw this in the presentation, so I'm going to take. I'm not going to take claim for it since it's your handiwork. But these are 3 different types of creative that we want to think about when it comes to meta ads. Now, it might be a little bit hard to see it perfectly. I will see if I can just highlight it here. All right. So the first one is the attention type of content. So this is the content where you're in your feed and you see something and it grabs your attention. And it grabs your attention because you're interested in that thing. Okay. So I love coffee. So if I see something in my feed that's about coffee, I'm going to stop and look at that. Okay. I don't necessarily like, what's the opposite to coffee? Tea. I'm not a big fan of tea. So if I see tea in my feed, I'm probably not going to stop and look at it. Okay. So I want to have content that grabs someone's attention based on what they are and identifies who they are. So that's the first type of content. The second type of content is interest content. And this is more about how and why yours are better than the others. I'll use the coffee example again. If I see coffee that is, that powdered cheap coffee, I'm not interested in that. But if I see coffee that is good quality, tastes beautiful, I'm more interested in that. So if we think about it, I got their attention. The second type of creative is giving them a bit more information about that thing. Okay. And then the third type of creative is where we want to help people make a decision on their purchase. Okay. So this is more things about why they should buy it. So we're bringing someone down a funnel. Okay. So we want to bring them down the funnel from getting their attention, educating them, and getting them to buy. So you might have heard of a term which is like top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel, which is sort of the old way we used to structure ads based on where they were in their world. Okay. We now do that with the type of creative that we put out into the world. Okay. So if we put creative that gets people's attention, that's top of funnel. If we put creative out that educates them about the thing they've already seen, that's what we call middle of funnel. And then if we give them a reason to buy from us, that's our bottom of funnel content. So this all making sense, everyone? Write in the chat if you think this is making sense. Yeah, all making sense. If we see something that's like buy our product and we haven't been told about it, we're less likely to buy it. Okay. So this is how I want you to think about your content now, about how you're putting it down. So I'll give you a couple of concepts here. So if we think about the attract, the attention piece of content is where we introduce our product to someone new. So we want to create it and we want to introduce it to someone new. This is the top of funnel style content. The second type of content is our interest type content, where we educate and inform. So think about it as educational, why your product is great. And then the last one is the decision, where we want to inform and give a call to action. They're the only three types of content we should be creating. So when you create your content, I want you to put it into one of those buckets. Is this creating interest? Is it educating, or is it convincing them to buy? And we can't just always have convincing them to buy, because we can't convince someone to buy something they don't know anything about. And we can't get the attention of someone to buy something if we haven't let them know that we exist. So all these pieces of content need to exist together. Okay. So if we're just running one ad that's about buy our thing, it's probably not working because you haven't given them any reason to buy it. And that's why when you run an ad that has a high discount or something like that, they might buy it. And you always say, well, I have to discount my products to sell them. That's because we're not doing the education piece at the front. Okay. And what a lot of people do wrong is they look at the education piece, but it's not converting. But that's because we need to have all the ads sort of working together. Okay. Now, that's a lot of talking. So I'm going to give you some ideas here. So this is creative inspiration. There's three ways that we recommend getting creative inspiration. And we'll work through these together now. So has everyone heard of the Facebook ads library? Does anyone know what Facebook ads library is, or the Meta ads library? Yes, a few of you. It's very cool. I'm going to give you a quick example of why it's very cool. So have you ever seen an ad in your Facebook feed or your Instagram feed and you're like, that's a cool ad? What we can actually do is we can actually look and spy on ads. So if we go to our Facebook ads library, so we put the link in the chat there, and let's just say we want to look for, we'll do Gymshark as an example. No, there's no space. Let's say we want to look at Gymshark. We're going to go there and we can actually now look at the ads that Gymshark are giving us. That one's not the right one. We click here, view ads for Gymshark. And now it's not even showing me. Great. Go all ads. They're not a political brand. We'll do that again. Gymshark. Cool. So now I'm now seeing all the ads from Gymshark that are running right now. Okay. So great idea about this one is if you've got competitors that are doing your ads, let's start spying on them and let's find out exactly what sort of ads they're doing. So we can see every single ad that these people are doing. And this gives us some inspiration. So great way to spy on your competitors or spy on big brands to find out what ads there are there. Okay. Really, really cool tool. So you can type in pretty much anything here. So let's type in the Udi. Let's see what these guys are doing. So we'll type in there. Let's have a look at what ads Dave is up to. Yep, we can now see all the ads there. Okay, pretty cool, huh? So really good little tool. So that's the first point of first place that you look to get your creative inspiration. Now the second place is thanks to Antoine. He's put together a really cool list of all the different styles of creative. Okay, and this one is here. Is add creative just here. So the link is in the chat. If you could paste it in again, if you wouldn't mind, Christine. And so what we've done here is we're using an app called 4Play. 4Play is a really awesome app because if we think about the Facebook ads library, it's really good, but if they turn their ads off, we don't see them anymore. They go away. Okay, so we lose them. What 4Play allows us to do is save the ads, and so we can keep them forever. But because we're nice people and Antoine's awesome, he's put together a board and he's already saved the ads for you. So as an example, let's open this here. So if you look at this, we click this link here. It's now going to open in what we call a 4Play board. And on this board, it's a whole heap of ads that we have saved for you. Okay. So these are ads which we call UGC ads. And we can effectively go through and look at all the different ads that other brands have done. So this is the creative inspiration for you on the types of ads, because I don't know about you, but when I go to run ads, I'm like, I don't know where to start. Okay. I don't know what sort of ads to run. This is going to give you lots of inspiration. And the cool thing about what we've done here is Antoine's broken them up into types of ads. So, you know, us versus them ads, statistic ads, press ads, you know, features and benefits, things like that. So have a look here. Here's a great example of some really cool ads, features and benefits. Okay. So think about how your product might get into these sort of ads. Okay. What are people thinking about this? I'd love to hear your feeling about, you know, just some inspiration. What do you think about these two tools that we can use? Matt, it's amazing. Wales, cool. Yeah. Awesome resources. Absolutely. Okay. Cool. Excellent. Game changer. All right. Well, I like giving you game changers. We've got one last little tool that I think is going to make your life a lot easier, because Who here is a creative genius? Yes or no? Write in the chat. Who's a creative genius that just loves creating ads and they just spend all their days in Canva making these beautiful ads? No, 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 no. I'm glad that what I'm anticipating the answer to be is correct. If everyone said, yeah, we love creating ads, then the next slide would be pointless. All right, I wish. Awesome. Creative genius with problem-solving addiction. Yeah, absolutely, Alan. So we've got a third tool that we've been playing with. So simple and so easy. You're just gonna be like, oh my God, where's this been my whole life? So this tool is called Creative OS. And by the way, we don't get any kickback or anything for recommending you these tools. We just use these every day in our own life. And I'll show you a few examples on this. So this one's called Creative OS, and it's something that Antoine introduced to me, and it's really cool. So basically, this is a whole heap of ad templates based on winning ads that brands have. Okay, so we're seeing all these. These are great. So let's just say we want to let me do we can filter here, go by collections. I'm going to choose the type of ad that I want. I'm going to do features and benefits. I want to have a look at all the features and benefit style ads. Okay, great. So these are examples of brands and the ads that they create. Now, wouldn't it be awesome? Tell me, wouldn't it be awesome if we could just copy this and just edit it and put our brand in it? Well, now you can. So we just click here, the Canva, if you're using Canva. We can click use template for the new design. And then now all we need to do is edit it for our own brand. Right? Pretty cool, huh? Very, very, very cool. And so because I'm like a cooking show, here's some that I prepared earlier. This is one of our brands. So this is the brand here, and this is our new brand. We just put it in there. Another example, we got this one from Huel. That was a brand of Huel, and we just put our one in here. And all we did was just dragged our things across. So I'll go to the one that we just pulled over. So if I wanted to do this, I'll just go images. I'll bring that across in there. I'll delete that. And then I change that to meet the best coffee. Yep. And now I started to build an ad out. Okay. So now we are not restricted by the creative anymore. Right? So now you don't have an excuse. I always hear excuses. It's like, oh, I don't know how to do creative. I don't know how to do this. I can't run ads. You can now. Okay. So if we're creative driven, we need to have ads, and we're not tech designy. We now are. They're gone. That's all gone now. Okay. Is it helpful, guys? Yep. Love it. How about video, Robert says. Now, I didn't actually include video in this presentation, but as I've been talking, I'm like, I probably should have put something about video in here. I'm going to give you a little cool video tip now we're going off script. Thanks, Robert. I appreciate you. There is a tool that we have been playing with, and it's called Creatify. Now, I did talk a little bit about this, and I'm only going to do a very quick overview because I haven't actually pre-planned this, so we're going to do it anyway. So this is a really interesting tool. It's called Creatify, and I'll just sign in, and hopefully, I don't like going off script, but we're going to do it anyway. I'm feeling lucky today. Creatify is awesome, right? So the way Creatify works is we click create, and let's just say I want to create a video ad. I'm going to create a URL to video ad. We can go here. I'm going to now do one for our other store. I'm going to create an ad for some boxing gloves because that's just what we sell. I'll grab this. Now I'm doing this super fast, but this is how fast you could probably do it. We basically put the link in here. We click analyze URL, and I'm just going to keep it all by default anyway, just for now. You can go in and edit all this. But what's basically happening here is the AI is now grabbing that URL, creating a script off that product, and then what it's now doing is creating a video for us with an AI avatar, and it's going to create a video ad for us. Okay, this is like the quickest way to do something. But while that's loading, this is going to be the way we create ads. The second way is, I don't know if you've got one of these. Does everyone have one of these things? It's called a mobile phone or a cellular phone. And they have like this thing on it, which is called a camera. That's how you create your video ads, right? We've been creating ads right now for one of our brands, and we're just literally filming like for 10 seconds and uploading it. So it doesn't need to be any crazier than that. So now back to Creatify, it's back, and it's now created all these ads for us. So as an example, this lady here,
Hey everyone, just wanted to share how these Fairtex boxing gloves changed my training routine. Their snug fit and top notch protection really enhanced my performance and confidence.
let's just change the person because she doesn't really look like a boxer to me. Let me grab someone else. This guy looks boxing-ish, maybe. But yeah, basically you can choose the person to be your avatar. Pretty cool tool, this one. Yeah, OMG, absolutely, that's amazing. And so now we've got this person, and he's going to talk about my gloves.
Hey everyone, just wanted to share how these Fairtex boxing gloves changed my training routine. Their snug fit and top-notch protection really enhanced my performance and confidence. Get yours. See the impact for yourself.
And I literally did that in like 15 seconds. That's without any editing. That's without any adjusting the script. That's without doing anything. So it goes to show you how far you can go. And the reason I didn't want to talk about that is because I want you to use your phone. It's the quickest and easiest way to do it, right? And it's the most authentic way to do it. Authenticity wins when it comes to ads all the time. Yes, I think you can change the accent on that one there. I just saw in the chat someone asked about that. Okay, is this helpful, team, about getting together really cool creative? So that's the starting point. We don't have any excuses anymore on getting our creative. What's everyone found most useful about that little segment, we'll call it? What's the most useful thing? Absolutely, phone makes it better. No excuses, easy creatives. Phone is the best. Ad library is a great one, Manuel. Absolutely. Ideas for bringing content together, 100%. Creative is the most important. Ad libraries, yes. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Cool, excellent. I'm glad you are taking what I'm putting down. Cool. All right, let's go on to the next piece of the puzzle. Oh, we're having an ad break. Okay, sorry. We've got all the boot campers here, so please, boot campers, feel free to go get a coffee for 2 minutes. We're just going to talk to the guests about the fun thing that we're doing here. So if you need to go to the bathroom, do that. We're having a small intermission for those that are guests. So guests, please stick around. I just wanted to give you an insight into the bootcamp team. So as much as this is a free masterclass, I need to pay the team that are sitting around here. So we need to sell a couple of things. But basically, I want to give you an introduction about the bootcamp. So basically, the bootcamp is pretty awesome. We have everything from how to run an e-commerce store, how to do email marketing, how to do SEO, how to do ads just like this. We have weekly live coaching calls just like this one. It's a lot of fun. Those are in the boot camp. Write in the chat, what's your favorite thing about being in the boot camp? I'd love other people to hear that. That would be awesome. What is the most fun thing about being in the boot camp? The community. Only just started and it's a game changer. Coaching calls. Yeah. Getting help that works. Absolutely. So as much as we teach the things here, the difference is that we have the community around us, like AKA the people here. And then we make sure you get it done on our coaching calls and we help you handhold you all the way through. So this is what it looks like inside the community, but this is the community piece. We use a school group. If you've been familiar with school, it's really awesome, really active. We're always in there helping everybody out. So any questions you have, we sort it out. And then you have me a lot of the time teaching you all the latest things on e-commerce. It's a lot of fun. Now, we usually have had this listed for $199 a month. But we do offer every time we're on a masterclass, we do run this little deal. And the deal is basically $99 a month. And you can join, you can quit at any time, risk-free. If you don't like it, or you don't think it's useful for you, you can leave. $99 a month, absolutely killer, but it's only for the next 48 hours. So I'm doing that hard sales tactic because I'm a hardcore salesman. Make sure you jump on for the next 48 hours. The link is in the chat. I'd love you to join. You get access to me, you get access to our team, and you get access to the content and the community. It is so much fun. I love doing it. I love you guys. Oh my God, I'm getting emotional. All right, let's get back to this. Cool. So that is the thing. So ad break is over. Now, one of the biggest questions that I think we've been getting in the boot camp lately is how much should I spend on ads? Does everyone know the answer to this question? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, cool. How much should you spend on ads? Okay. As much as your product will let you. Good answer. You've obviously been around the boot camp a while, Alan. You know the answer to this question. You'd spend more if it was working. I want you to spend $1,000 a day, $10,000 a day, right? Only if it makes sense. So there is a calculation that we do, all right? And it's all about being profitable and making sure that you can spend within your means, but also spend within what your product allows. So there's an element of spending within your means, but there's also letting your product help you spend the money, but also giving enough money to the to Facebook so that it spends to find you a customer. Okay, so think about it this way. If I'm fishing and I go to throw my line in the water and I only give it this much line, okay? Am I going to catch any big fish? Probably not, okay? But then if I go out too far, maybe the fish are too big, or maybe I'm too far in the ocean and I can't find the fish, okay? So we want to just give it the right amount of rope or line so that we can find the right amount of fish. So if we give it too little, we're not going to find any fish, or they're too small. Or if we give it too much, it might be too big an ocean and we can't find the right people. So what we want to do is we want to set the ad budget just about right so that we can grow and learn as we go, okay? Hopefully that metaphor makes sense. So the way I want you to think about your budget is all about your own economics. So if someone says to me, what's your budget? It completely depends on your product, right? So if I think about, we've got two different stores that we're running at the moment in our company. One is our boxing store, which a lot of you are probably familiar with, where our average order value is maybe $200, okay? Now we're just launching a new store, which is selling coffee. Our average order value is probably going to be $40, okay? Completely different product. Now, if I want to sell a $200 product, I'm probably going to be prepared to spend a little bit more on marketing versus if I'm selling a $40 product. This is making sense to everyone, right? So I'm selling a $200 product, I could probably spend $50 to acquire a new customer. And when I think about marketing, I think about how much is it going to cost me to get a customer? How much am I prepared to pay to get a customer? We call that cost per acquisition, so CPA, and I'm going to say CPA a lot now. Okay, so cost per acquisition is how much I'm prepared to get a new customer. So if I went to Facebook and said, hey, I'm willing to spend $50 to get a customer, and I want you to give me a customer for $50, how much money should I give Facebook per day on average at a minimum? Anyway, everyone do the maths here. How much should if I want to get at least one customer a day from Facebook, prepared to spend $50 a day, how much should I give them? $50 a day, okay? But if I went and give them $20 a day, how often am I going to get customers? In theory, if we think about the maths. Maybe one every 3 days, okay? So this is the mistake that people tend to make, is they limit their budget a little bit too much based on what their metrics tell them. And let's do the sums right now. And I want you to do these sums, grab a notepad or something while I'm filling this out. So let's just say we're selling a product for $100, okay? That's our sell price. So we're selling it for $100. Now the cost of that product, let's just say, is $20. And for those of you that are in Europe, we just replace the dollars with euros. If you're in Britain, replace it with pounds. Same thing, okay? So that means our gross margin is going to be $80. Does that make sense to everyone? Yeah, pretty straightforward. Yep. Cool, awesome. Give me one sec. Great. So that means we've effectively got $80 to spend to either obviously run our business and spend money on ads. Okay, so we've got $80 to spend. So what your job now is how much of this $80 am I prepared to spend to get a new customer? Okay, everyone just do your maths for me right now. And once you've got your maths, tell me what your gross dollars left over is. So mine in this scenario, it's $80. So I want to hear, what's your gross dollars left over? What's the gross amount you've got left over? 40, 60, 20, 25, 10, 8, 40. Okay. See that? Everyone has different numbers. So everyone's budget has to be different. Okay? There's no one answer to this question. Does anyone sell products that are consumable? Just write in the chat yes or no. If there's lots of yeses, then I will do the next bit if there's more no's. Okay. Do you sell products where people might come back and buy from you again? Right, yes or no in the chat for that one, please. Awesome. Now we're cooking. All right, cool. That was the answer I was looking for. So if you sell products that people are likely to come back and buy from you again, okay, you typically don't need to pay for them the second time they come in, right? Do you? But you might pay for them the first time. So think about this. In our first sale, we make $80. Let's exclude, and then there'll be obviously operating costs. But let's just say I only want to spend 50% of that $80 because I still need to pay myself. I still need to pay for Shopify. I still need to do all those sorts of things. So let's just say of that $80, I need 50% to go to running costs and 50% to go to advertising. So which means I've effectively got $40 to spend on ads, okay? So $40 to acquire a new customer. And that's a $40 to acquire a new customer, right? Now, most of you said that that customer is going to buy from you again, right? So if they now buy, so if their new customer, let's just say we spend $40, that means that we just make the other $40 to run our business and pay for our goods. But the second time they purchase, we get to keep that $40 and that customer is effectively free. So now knowing that on their second purchase, you're making the profit, it changes the way you think about how much you're paying, you're going to cost per acquisition. Is this landing for everyone? What we're trying to say here? Think a little bit about the lifetime value of the customer and how much they're worth to you as a customer. Don't always think about how much they're worth to you in that first purchase. Now, if you don't have a product that has a repeat purchase element to it, then obviously we need to think about that first purchase, or think about how can we get the customer to come back again and buy from us. A secret to a successful e-commerce business is have products where people can continue to buy from you time and time again. If you can't do that, then we need to make sure our front margins are correct. So this should help you determine what you're willing to pay for a new customer, okay? So if we're willing to pay $40 for a new customer because that's a percentage of our margin, this helps us determine what our daily ad spend is, because we can now say, how many customers do I want to get per day? And I recommend we just want to start on 1 to 2 per day. So I recommend that we at least 1.5x to 2x that budget per day. So in my world, I'd have a $60 to $80 per day budget. Okay? Is this making sense? Hey, Antoine, I know you're my guy. Is this all good? You think this makes sense to everyone? You're in your world? Antoine's the Facebook guy. Would you add anything?
So good.
So far, so good. Okay, cool. I just got to check in with my coach, guys. We've all got coaches on this, and he's mine. So yeah, when we think about this, how does this change, team, to what you're currently spending on Facebook? What does it change? Do you need to spend more, or do you need to spend less? More or less? It's my time for a coffee break. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Got to spend more. Now, I don't want you to go out and blow all your cash. But what tends to happen is people are like, I'm just going to dip my toe in the water, right? The problem is we're just putting money down the drain because we're not giving it enough for it to go and find us our customers. We have to invest in the platform to make sure that it has enough rope or line to go out and catch those fish. Okay? If we've got a dog and we want it to go on a run, but we're holding it on a rope, it's not going to be able to go on a run. And if we want a dog to go out and hunt for us, but we keep it on a leash, it's not going to be able to find the things that we need. So we want to just try and find that happy medium, which is why we want to think about how much we're prepared to get a new customer and spend 1.5 to 2 times that, just to give it enough room. Because if we're spending less than that, we're never going to find a customer at the price we want to pay. And if we're spending too much, we're going to overspend, and it's just going to go out there and try and find anyone. So we want to land in the middle there, which why I like 1.5 to 2x. Okay. Now, the more you spend at the start, ideally, the quicker it learns. So I want you to think about this as a learning program. And marketing at the end of the day is just learning. Okay. Because if we spend the money, 2 things are going to happen. And they're both positive results. 2 things are going to happen. One is we're going to get customers and we're going to be happy. The second thing that's going to happen is we might not get customers, but we've learned something. We've learned, did the creative work? We've learned, is our offer correct? Is our product any good? We start to learn, but without running the ads and without getting people to our store, we're not going to know those answers. We're just going to sit there and go, oh, I'm not making any sales. Okay. So we need to think about ads as a way to actually learn. And if we learn, we earn. Okay. Making sense? Cool. So I'm just having a look in the chat. How do I test that and know my right number? We'll talk about testing soon. Okay. So now that we know your ad budget, team, write in your chat, what's your daily ad budget? What should it be now that we know this new maths? Just let me know, just so we've got your daily ad budget. $10, $40, 15 to 20. Okay, 50. Great. Awesome. Cool. Now, if it's not very high, like $10 to $15 is not a very high ad budget, then that means the margins of your products need adjusting. Okay. It means that we need to try and work out how we can spend more on ads, because the brands that win are the ones that can spend more money. And the brands that win are the ones that have a good margin. So this is the part where we've got to think about our product and how we can improve our margins on our products. Okay. who can spend more will always win. It's always the way. So the only way we can spend more is two ways. One is we increase our prices or we improve our margins. Okay, that's business. That's it. That's all business is sell something for more and make more money at the bottom. And don't be ashamed of that. Okay, cool. So now what I want you to do is times that number by 7. Okay, so let's just say it was $100 a day, times that by 7. We know how much that is, $700 a day. That's $700 a week now. Okay, so that's how much we want to spend per week. Now we need to run our campaigns for a minimum of a week. Antoine, a minimum of a week, or should we do longer before we can make a call? What are we thinking?
Yes, minimum a week. Of course, it all depends what budget you spend. Because less you have budget, less you have data.
Yeah.
But minimum a week, I will not touch anything just to gather enough data.
Yeah.
And make sure to get right decision. Because what can happen is that the first days of the week, resume might be crap, but the last day of the week, you can get some sales coming on. So if you get some sales on after 4, 5, or 6 days, just wait, I would say, a couple of days more and see if the result can improve.
Awesome. Thank you, mate. Appreciate that. So the reason we say I asked you to times it by 7 is that's the minimum amount of money you need to invest to get results. And those results are one of two things, conversions or information. Okay. If you're only running for 2 or 3 days and you kill it, the reason we don't like that is people are in different buying cycles throughout the week, right? So imagine I want to buy some boxing gloves, okay? But I train on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I go to boxing. You run your ads on a Monday to Wednesday and they're like, these don't work. But I don't get time to buy them until the weekend because I'm too busy. And you've turned your ads off now, forget about who you are. So people are in a different buying cycle. So we need to run an entire week to make sure that we determine which days are best for us. We like to run at least 2 weeks. So when you're setting up your ads campaign, you need to think about how much you're willing to invest, and you now know the numbers. If you're saying $50 a day, then you need to do 7 times 50. Okay, that's how much you need to be prepared to spend to get an answer on whether your product or ads work. Okay, a little bit scary for some of us, but we're in business. We need to invest in our business if we want to make money. Okay, it's not a free ride. Now, if you don't want to spend money, then we'll have to have another call, which is running SEO and email marketing, right? But that's where we get sales slower. We will get sales, but it just takes longer. So if you want sales now, you got to pay for them. If you want sales a little bit slower, we got to earn them with other strategies. Okay. So ads just make your business better. Okay. Or worse if you've got a bad business. Okay. Cool. Team, what are we learning? What did we learn just there about ads? I'd love to hear. Just write in the chat. What's something that you just learned there around the ads? Spend money, make money. Absolutely. Don't be a wussy, says Brian. Be patient with ads. How we budget. Love it. All right. Quote for the day. Just don't be a wussy. Just spend the money. No, we don't all have money. It's not all unlimited. We just want to be calculated with it, right? That's the whole point here. We want to make sure that we're not spending more than we make, but we want to make sure we're not spending too little and just paying for Mark Zuckerberg's hydrofoils. Okay. All right. So let's get into how we do this stuff, right? We know our budget. We know our creative. So let's actually get into it. So we teach a strategy which is called the one campaign strategy. There's a few people that teach this. We really like it because it's super simple, super easy, and it plays into the algorithm and it plays into the way the future's going. Okay. Let me draw this out for you. And for those of you who've been in Facebook ads, you should know some of this terminology. If not, once you're playing in there, you're going to know it. So the way we work about when we've got a campaign, we have one campaign. Okay. And this campaign needs to be around either a product or a collection, or we call it an offer in our group. But what is it that you're trying to sell? What's the offer? Okay, so if I think about one of the campaigns we run, our offer is 2 pairs of shorts for $99. That's our offer. And within that, we have, 20 pairs of shorts in there that anyone can buy. So that's our current offer. So I might use that as an example. So we run the campaign as the offer. So in this world, it's 2 for $99. Okay. But in your world, it might just be a collection. Okay. It could just be my offer is these candles. Okay. Or my offer is this one product. That's it. We just want to have one thing that we're trying to sell that will attract the perfect buyer. So think about one product or one collection or one offer. That is the bait effectively that we want to feed our fish. So the campaign then is we think about the product or collection that we're trying to sell. Okay, and that is the campaign level. So we create that one thing. Now, under the campaign level, what we like to do is at a minimum, we're going to create 2 ad sets. Okay. Ad set 2. Okay, 2 ad sets. That's all we want to do. Okay. One campaign that is the offer that we're trying to do, and then 2 ad sets. And so we set our budget that we just talked about at the top here. So in our world, it's going to be $80. Okay. $80 budget per day. Making sense, everyone? Thumbs up if it is. Yep. So super simple strategy. One, the product, the campaign determines the product and the audience that we want to hit. And then we do the images. Now, the cool thing about this is we just go, instead of interest groups, we're just going to do a thing which we call broad targeting. So that's basically saying we want Facebook to go out and just have no restrictions because we want to use the creative to find the customer. Okay, so in order to do that, we're going to now break these ad sets into 2 things. We're going to have one ad set to be images and the other ad set to be videos. Okay, super simple because these work congruently. They're both running at the same time. You'll see in your social feed, and you guys all answered this earlier, you go into Instagram, you go to your reels first, you watch the videos, a sponsored video comes up about these really cool shorts. Then we go, okay, I'm just going to flick through my static feed. Boom, there's an ad that comes up about those same shorts. See what we're doing there? Hitting the video and we're hitting the static. Okay? So I want to have an ad set that is like that. Now, the way we set it up is we use a concept which is called the 3-2-2 strategy. And so within here, in each of these ad sets, we run 3 images or video. Sorry about my writing today. I'm highly caffeinated. Images or videos, okay? And we'll show you how to do this. Then we have 2 headlines, and then we have 2 texts, okay? And you'll see that in the 2 primary texts, okay? The reason we do this is we want to give Meta enough information for it to go out and create ads on our behalf, and we'll show you how to do those in a second. But we don't want to give it too much information that spreads the budget too thin. What a lot of people do is they add in all their images, they add in all their text and all their videos all in this one campaign, or they create all these different ads and they have a really small budget. And then what happens is that gets spread across too thin, okay? But then the opposite could happen is we only do 1 image and 1 ad, and we don't have enough to test which is working or not. We find the 3-2-2 method is great because it only gives us 12 total variations, okay? Really simple, really easy, and it spreads it really thin. Cool. All making sense? Yes? Feeling good? So your ad set needs to be 1 campaign set at CBO level, which is campaign budget optimization, or ABO, I think it's called now, and then 2 ad sets with 1 with videos, 1 with images. How about we go in and I'll show you how to do that in a live Facebook account. Should we do that? Yeah? Cool. All right, so let's jump into my test account. Okay, so this is a new brand we're starting. So basically all we do is we go into Facebook Ads Manager, we click Create. We always want to do a sales campaign, okay? Don't listen to anyone else. Sales campaign is the only thing you should do in this scenario, because what are we trying to get in? We're trying to get sales. So we want it to optimize for sales. So we click Sales and we go Continue. We're going to do manual campaign setup. Hey, and Antoine, if I'm doing something wrong, please let me know. We go manual sales campaign. We click Continue. And here, let's call it, we'll call it CBO. I'm going to call it Instant Coffee. Cool. We don't need to do anything else. We're going to turn off Use Catalog. Okay, we don't want to do that in this one. We're going to turn on Advantage Campaign Budget. And here is we're going to put the budget in we just talked about. Okay, $80 a day. That's our daily budget. Okay, scroll back down and we go next. So this is where we create the ad set. So we think about where I said ad set 1, ad set 2. This is the first ad set. It's going to be images. So we'll call this ad set 1 images. Okay. Now we want the conversion to be on our website. We want to maximize the number of conversions. Now we don't have a pixel set up on this because it's a brand new store. You will have a pixel on your store. If you don't, I do have a YouTube video on how to install a Facebook pixel. Feel free to go and watch that. But yeah, you'll need to have a pixel before we can run this. If you don't have a pixel, set that up first before we run this campaign. Okay. We want to choose dynamic creative. And I think that's about it. We go through. Now, audience controls is where you might make some changes here. We don't want to make lots, we want to make some. So in our world, we only sell this product to Australia. You may sell it in other places, right? So you'll change it to your region. So you just want to create your region in here. We only want to have, I typically only like having one region per area. Would you agree with that, Antoine, that one campaign per region? Yep, perfect. So if you're selling to multiple countries, we have to create different campaigns for each country, right? It's very important because there's different types of bidding and different types of audiences in each of those areas, okay? So that's the first edit you might make. The second edit you might make, I haven't done this much, but you could do gender and age if you really wanted. Would you recommend that, Antoine, gender or age?
To start, I would recommend to be broad.
So no,
also
no
with
gender.
the age. No gender neither, because some profile doesn't attribute some gender to the profile. So
Okay.
I will go broad. If
Just broad.
you're driving ads that speaks to women, automatically it will spend 90% of the budget or 95% of the budget to women. The same for the age. Sometimes it can be surprising. We can have older people buying gift for their daughter or whatever. So when we start, go broad. And if you need to refine later for your new creative testing, maybe change the age or gender.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, man. Yeah, so keep it as broad as possible. You know, as Antoine said, we might not even know the gender of the person, but the creative will find the gender, okay? The creative will find the person. Okay, cool. So we won't worry about that. We don't need to exclude anything. And that's it. We'll go next. And this is where we want to create our ad. So this is where we'll call the type of ad that we're creating. So I'm going to use one of the ones that we did before. So I'm going to call this image ad features. Okay, features and benefits. It's the type of ad that we're doing. Now, remember in this cool board that we gave you, there's a whole heap of different sort of ad styles. So use this as your way of thinking about what sort of ad styles to do. Okay, so I'm going to call this one the features ad. We make sure our Facebook page is there. And now we go and create the ad. Now we're going to do what we call a flexible ad. This is a brand new ad set that's been released by Meta over the last maybe month or so. Now what flexible does is when you upload your creative and your text and headlines, it creates the ad for you based on all that. So it just puts them together. It puts an image with different text, different headlines, and it creates it based on what it thinks is going to perform the best. Okay, it's the future of it. It means you don't need to think about creating everything there. Okay. So we go through, we do manual upload, we do flexible ad, and we go through and we add in the media. Add images. And actually, I got to upload the images. So click upload. And these are the three that we did. I have to do one at a time, don't we? These are the ones we just made a second ago. I'll upload another one. I think it's that one. Yep. And so what we want to do here is we only want to choose three. So we're going to choose those three there. Remember 3, 2, 2. 3 images or 3 videos. Okay. And then down here, we will create the primary text. Now, I'm not going to go into it in this call, but we did, there is an AI cheat sheet that we have that will help you come up with what this copy is. Okay. Helps come up with the headlines, help you come up with that. Hey, Gab, if you do get a chance, or Christine, could you find the AI cheat sheet link just so that we can give those guys a tool? But basically what that does, the AI cheat sheet lets you go into ChatGPT, type in some information, and it'll pump out these headlines for you. So again, no excuses there. So here we would write, I'll just do text 1 for now. Test 1, we would do 3. So two of these, test 2. And then we do the same here, test 2. Test 1, test 2. Okay. So really what we have here is 3 images, 2 headlines, and 2 texts and 2 headlines. Okay. Then we make sure we link it to the collection page. Now, this is really important. What a lot of people do here is they'll drive it to their homepage. we want to get the person as close to the product as possible. So this link here should actually take you directly to the URL that you want someone to buy from, okay? Or the collection page, not your home page, okay? So I will just do that. I don't think this URL is going to work, but we'll do it anyway. Okay, it would go there. Make sure you preview it when you do it, just so you know that it's right. If you have a display link is just the way it shows. So I like to put in like the thing that you're selling in the display link. So it'd be like, it's only a visual thing. It doesn't actually go anywhere. Hey, Antoine, I haven't seen this before. Advantage plus creative optimizations. Do we do that?
I would not recommend when you do testing. Why? Because Facebook gonna make so many little variation. So it's gonna create a lot of different post ID because the goal is to have 12 post ID in total with the 3 to 2. So if we enable this, it's gonna make so many variation and you will not be able to find the winner ads.
Gotcha.
So no for creative testing.
So we do not tick that. Thank you. Thanks for that. I haven't seen that one before. All right. Then we do the call to action. What do we want people to do here, team? Let me know. What do we want them to do? We would like them to buy. Okay. Shop now. Okay. And then in terms of tracking, I don't have the pixel installed, so that should all work fine for you. One thing that I do recommend people to do is build something called a URL parameter. Now, this is really important. You may not think about it now, but what happens is in 6-12 months time, when you want to look back on what worked and what didn't work, this is going to give you a really good insight. And it's just basically adding a little bit of additional information into here. And this will show you why it's really important to name your campaigns correctly. But it's quite easy. What this does is if you click build URL parameter, what in here we want to type in just a couple of information. So campaign source is about the advertising method. So in this world, we're advertising by Meta. We're advertising via an ad. So what's the medium? We'll call it an ad. And the campaign name in here, we're going to choose campaign name and we're going to choose the ad set name. Okay. Now, the reason we do this is how many people, when they go into Shopify, open up and so they get an order, you open up the order and you check the conversion details. Who does that? Type in the chat if that's something you do to see where the order came from. Okay. Yep, absolutely. And all you'll often see is either unknown, right? Or maybe you might see Google if you're on Google, or you might see search. What this does is if you have these parameters in here, when you open that up, you're going to be able to see exactly which ad that it was that created that sale because it'll show it in that little conversion parameters. Okay, so this is a little hack that you want to do to get real good understanding of what ad drove that sale. Okay, really powerful little tool there. And it's super easy. But this is why naming the ad is really correct because it pulls in the name of the ad into this. So if you just had Facebook ad as your name of the creative, we're not going to know which one works. So we want to name it properly. Okay, cool. And then team, we are good to go. On the bottom right corner, there is a publish button. You can't see it on the screen. Yeah, all right. That's it. I now have an ad up and running and it's set. So we do that for images. And then to do it for videos, we basically do the same thing. We just duplicate this, quickly duplicate, and we change the creative from images to the videos that we created. We just remove these, and we change them to videos. That's it. Simple. So we now will have two campaigns set up, or one campaign set up, and two ad sets, just like we talked about. Pretty easy, isn't it? And that's it. Set. Good to go. Has anyone done this structure before? Apart from my boot campers, because I teach this in that. Who hasn't done it yet? Yeah. Cool. Okay, great. Okay, a few of you done it. Awesome. Give this a try if you haven't done it. Super powerful. Okay. All right, team, we're almost landing this plane. What have we learned about this little segment here? This little segment. Give me one thing that you can take away to put into your own ads right now. Whale's going to try it today. Well done. Image ad, can they be carousel? So what will happen here, great question there, Hyung, is because these are flexible ads, what Facebook's going to do is it's going to go out and create the ad based on different placements, however it feels. So it might create a carousel for you. It might create a static story for you. It's going to create it based on how the user interacts with ads, but also the types of ads that are performing really well for you. Okay. Cool. All right, great. Let's move on. So let's create an ad together. We just did that. Awesome. All right, so the next part is about how to scale your ads. And this is just the last piece of the puzzle. Scaling ads is obviously spending more money, right? That's how we scale, but we only spend the money if things make sense, okay? We don't just go and turn the money up and hope it works. We only turn it up when it makes sense. I'm going to give you a couple of metrics you need to think about. Scaling ads is a whole nother session in a masterclass. I want to get your ads up and running, get you spending, getting used to like getting the data in and learning. But these are the data we need to look at. First thing we need to look at is the ad that has the most dollars spent has the best creative, okay? So the ad that has the most dollars spent has the best creative, because if your creative is good, people looking at engaging with it, Meta is going to spend more money because Meta wants to make money for you. Meta's job is to make you money. A lot of people think it isn't. It is. Because if they make you money, what are you going to do? You're going to keep spending with them. If they don't make you money, you're going to stop spending with them. So they want to back the winners. They're going to spend the money on the ads that work. That's the first thing. So that tells you what's working and what's not working from a creative perspective. We have accounts where, sorry, jumping in and out. We have accounts where they're not spending on any creative, right? That's because their creative is bad. So if it's not spending, it's not working very well, then you change your creative and mix it up a little bit. The second thing we need to look at is, does the cost per purchase meet your goals? Let me bring up a little one here, okay? When we're looking at an ad account, I've just brought up one of our members' ad accounts here. This is what we see. I'll just remove the breakdown for a second. You'll recognize this account, Antoine. You'll recognize this. So this is the columns that we set up. One of them is cost per result. So you can see this customer here has a cost per result of 43 for this ad, and then this ad set, and then this ad set is 26.31. So what we want to know is, I don't know what this person's cost per result target is, but this is a metric you need to look at. The amount of results that you're getting, are you paying the number that we talked about earlier? So in our world, it was $40. So does this reach our $40 goal? But it's not at an individual ad level, right? It's as an average. Okay, so we can see the average of this is 42. So we want to make sure that our average meets our goal, not the individual ad set. Because when we talked about the ad sets work together, image and videos work together, some might cost a little bit more, some might cost a little bit less, but as long as we land in between, we're on a good path. Okay. The third thing we need to look at is ensure that we have a good mix of frequency across your ads. We didn't talk about this too much, but basically frequency means the amount of time the one person sees the ad. Okay, so it means if you have a low frequency rate, then lots of new people are always seeing your ad. So we think that that's more of a top of funnel or, a prospecting type ad. If the frequency is low, it means that it's at that awareness phase and lots of new people are seeing it, okay, which is good. We're getting it out to new people, but it may not convert very well. Where if you have a high frequency ad where you've got lots of frequency, it means that it's getting sent to the same people all the time, which means it's likely to be lower funnel. Okay, does that make sense to everyone? Yeah? So we want to have a good combination of the two. We want to have a lot of low frequency ads, so we're going out and grabbing all these new people, but a lot of high frequency, an ad that has high frequency, so that we're trying to convince them to buy from us. So that's another one. Antoine, you want to add to that?
Yes, when you check the frequency per day, not a longer
yes.
period. Because if you check on the last 7 days, you can see, oh, I have a frequency of over 2, so it does retargeting. But no, you check the frequency per day, and that's gonna tell you where you sit in the funnel.
Love that. Thank you. Great pick up there. So to do that, team, if you've never done this before, when you're looking at your frequency column, you click breakdown in the top right here and you choose day. Okay. And now we can see frequency per day here. Okay, so this is clearly an awareness ad because we've got a really low frequency, and this one is a little bit still awarenessy, but it's getting a little bit more frequent, right? Okay. So frequency is important to work out where in the funnel that creative is, whether it's awareness, education or consideration. Okay. Cool. So high frequency is existing customers, low is new. Now, the reason this is important is we tend to look at the accounts. If they've got a really high frequency, it means they're continually selling to the same people, and we're not increasing our audience. We're not getting new people in the door. But then if we have too many up the top and they're not converting, we're going to be spending on trying to win all these new people, but we're not doing anything to try and convince them. Okay. Awesome. Great. Let's go to the next bit. And the final piece of the puzzle is if your cost CPM is increasing, CPM means how much you're spending per 1,000 customers. Your ad is not finding your audience. So very similar to the frequency element, okay? If they're having to spend more money to get views, then they're struggling to find the right people, okay? So that's going up. So we want to make sure we have a good combination of CPMs and frequency mixed across our ad account. Antoine, would you add anything to that? Nope, all good. Thank you. Oh, you're a good coach, mate. And then the final piece, ROAS. ROAS. We always talk about ROAS. Did you notice that I've left ROAS to the end? Because the first thing a lot of people say is, but my ROAS is terrible, right? What should my ROAS be? ROAS is simply a signal on how well Facebook thinks it's doing, okay? It's not a signal on how well your overall business is doing. So Facebook operates its own little silo. It's giving you ads. If Facebook is the only thing you're doing, then maybe ROAS has a little bit of a say in the world. But in Bootcamp, we have multiple channels of driving business. We have email marketing, we have SEO, we have ads. Now, ROAS only measures the performance of that ad campaign based on the sales that that single ad campaign brings in. Now, I know about you guys, but if I see a Facebook ad, I might click the ad, but then I might not buy until I receive an email from them, or I might not buy until I search them on Google, which means there's multiple touch points. If I focus just on ROAS, I'm only measuring that one channel in it by itself, okay? So ROAS is not the right metric to measure the success of an ads campaign, because if I look at a high frequency campaign, if I look at a campaign, it might be driving me traffic to get email addresses, but my email campaigns bring in my sales. Okay, so don't use ROAS. ROAS is just a direction to see whether it's performing well. Like it's a good metric, but it's not what you should measure your campaign's success on, or your business's success, I should say. Anything to add around ROAS, Anton? Because I know you're pretty heavy on this too.
Okay, that's the thing is the goal is not to make you Facebook ads looks good, like an agency would like to show you. Your goal is to improve the bottom line of your business, because Facebook's gonna do an incremental lift of what you do the best in your business. So if you have Google around, if you have a good email marketing, it's just gonna help you to boost. So don't focus so much on the metrics on the dashboard on Facebook, like the ROAS. Focus mostly on what it does on the bottom line of your business.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, ROAS is just telling you whether or not Facebook is doing the right thing, okay? In its own, it doesn't know what's happening in the rest of your business. So realistically, you should be having money coming into your bank account, irrespective of how the ad, how Facebook thinks it's doing. You want to look at it in your overall business perspective. All right. So that's how we scale your ads. Like I said, that could be a complete masterclass in its own world. But they're the main metrics you want to look at is if your ad's getting spent, the creative is good. If it's not, the creative is bad. If cost per purchase meets your goals, then we're finding the right audience. If it doesn't, then we need to adjust and adjust the creative to try and find the right audience. If we have, a heavy frequency in certain areas, it means we're attracting the right or the wrong audience. We want to have a good mix. And ROAS is just a metric to see how well Facebook thinks it's doing, okay? Not how well your business is doing. Team, we have done a lot. I just showed you that anyway. We've done a lot, and I've just landed 1 minute past the time I said I was going to land. Just trying to get that in there. Team, what did we learn about the scaling ads? Type in the chat. What's one thing you could take away about scaling your ads? One thing we could learn about scaling your ads. Full week, absolutely. Frequency per day is important. Sure is. Promote what works, 100%. Yeah. Thank you for writing in the chat. Love this. Lauren, yep, cost per result is what we measure for scaling our business. Good creatives. Alan, it's a delicate puzzle. It's all unique to everyone's business. Absolutely. So when you ask questions like, what should our cost per click be? What should our CPMs be? It's completely reliant on your business. Okay. We need to do the metrics first. Great e-commerce businesses understand their economics so that they can spend money on ads. And ads only amplify a good or bad business. I want you to remember that, right? If you've got a great business, you're just putting fuel in the fire and making it better. Okay. If you have a bad business, you're just putting fuel in the fire and burning it to the ground. Okay. So that's how I want you to think about it. It's all a numbers game. Absolutely. All right, team. I'm prepared to stick around for another 5 minutes, even though we're over. If you guys are, I got some time for some Q&A. I'd love to answer some questions for you guys. Right in the chat, I'll go through a couple of questions. If you've got any specific questions to your business around ads, chuck them in the chat. All right. One question from Matt. Can you share budget across between campaigns? No. No. You should have one budget per campaign based on the results that you want of that individual campaign. Okay, so the metric that we talked about, a $40 CPA in that example, right? If we spread that budget across campaigns, we're diluting the spend and we won't get the results that we need. So it needs to be at a campaign level.
You had a user-generated copy campaign,
yep.
and then you had a features campaign. Yep. You do two separate.
So you would do two separate ad sets, right?
Oh, right. So
one campaign, two ad sets. Yep.
Right. Oh, okay. So the user-generated and the comparison or something like that would be a different ad set.
Yes, correct.
But they would share the same budget.
Correct.
All right, cool.
Yeah. And then what will happen there is the ad set that's doing better will probably get more of the spend.
And right? Then you go there.
But they complement each other, right? That's what the idea is. Yep. So that's actually a really good strategy of that campaign. Having UGC and static is a killer sweet strategy that we want.
Yeah.
Awesome. In one. Yeah. Cool. How to introduce new creatives, and do we create a campaign for new creative? Oh, great question, Shao. So what you'll see in this example here is you can see here that we've got numbers, DCT 6, DCT 12, right? So these are the ad sets that are under this one campaign. So the way we test new creative is we just add in a completely new ad set under the same campaign. Okay, so I'll give you an example. I'll just draw it on here. We've got our campaign, and then we have our ad set. Okay, ad set 1, ad set 2. Let's just say one of these doesn't work. Didn't work very well. That happens. Okay, we don't always get winners straight away. Then what we do is we go, okay, great, we're going to test a new creative. And now it's ad set 3. Okay, and then let's just say this one dies. We create a new one, ad set 4. But we always do it under the same campaign. Okay, and that's why when we have a look here, we've got 6s and we number them. We've got 12s, which means this is the 12th iteration of this test. So what we're effectively doing, our job right now, is to just test new creative. That's what our goal is. Every new ad set is a new test of creative. So as a marketer, we're just testing to see what creative resonates with our audience. Okay, is that helpful, Shao? So using those numbers, spend, CPR, tells us what it is. Okay, and the reason we do it in the same, Shinta, you just answered my question for me. The reason we do it in the same campaign is that campaign's learning the audience that we're trying to find. Okay, every time we start a new campaign, it has to go out and learn that audience again. So we want to keep it in there and it finds the right buyer. Now, the trick though is the creative that you put in still needs to be related to the offer and the product you're trying to sell. So let's just say we've got our boxing shorts campaign and we're running an ad for boxing shorts. I'm not going to throw one in there that's going to be boxing gloves in that same campaign. It has to always be around the type of people you're trying to attract. Cool. Okay. All right, so we've got another 1 or 2 questions. All right, we've got one. UGC video ads. You're asking whether we should have captions on UGC video ads? Absolutely, yes, definitely, 100%. And a hook. We didn't talk much about hooks, but hooks are important. I think we sent last week, I had an email trail go out around meta hooks. I think I've got a YouTube video about hooks as well. Hooks are the most important when it comes to video ads. Hook testing. Question from Tracy. Should you be running Meta and Google at the same time? Yes. And we use the same structure for understanding the budget. So if we're spending $60 a day or $80 a day on Facebook per campaign, we actually need to do the exact same amount on Google. So we can start to see where the numbers start to rise a little bit there. How do I test more interest in this kind of campaign? So if you want to try, was one of the questions, if you want to try different audiences, we stay broad. The only differences that you should change is maybe the region that you send it to. Okay, so we've got members that have, they might do Australia, they might do the US, they might do the UK. Each of those are individual campaigns. Okay, that's how we'd expand the interests. We wouldn't add them into the one campaign. Okay, cool. One more question, and then I'll let you guys get back to your day. All right, so one that Robert says, I had a sales quota per day, and when I reached it, Meta kept increasing my ad spend, so I would stop running my ads every day. Is that a good or bad kind of tricking Meta? So we can set up an automated rule that increases it if it meets your goals. Okay. So I don't know if this is what you had set up, but the way we do it is we set our goals, which is like, let's say our cost per purchase is $40. So we can set an automated rule in Meta that says, if over a 3-day period on average, we hit this goal, which is $40 per day, we're happy for you to automatically increase our budget by 10 to 15%. Okay. And so that'll keep scaling as the campaign keeps working. If, however, it goes backwards, it will then reduce your campaign. Okay, so this is where Meta can start to do auto scaling for you. So that's another level, right? Yeah, hopefully that's helpful, Robert. All right, we'll do one more for Sunil. He asks, is there an ad that worked months ago? If there is an ad that worked months ago compared to anything now, do I reuse? Yeah, of course, you can reuse it. In fact, we can use advantage shopping campaigns and pull in existing ads and run it that way as an ad set. A little bit more tricky, but definitely that is the way to do it. If it worked in the past, it means it's worked. Just move it into this new structure and it will definitely help for you. Cool. All right, team, this has been fun. I hope you've all liked it. One last request in the chat, please. Tell me what your favorite thing from this session was before I log off. What's your favorite thing you've learned? And also, I've noticed a few people joined the bootcamp while I've been talking, so thank you. Welcome to the party. Look forward to seeing you on the inside. Cool. Things we've learned. All right, creatives, how easy they can be. Getting quoted on the cam. Well done, Brian. Well, when people say stop being a wussy, I've got to call it out. All right, the video AI doesn't feel as scary as you thought. Uploading creative into running one campaign, 100%. Tracy's head hurts. Sorry, Tracy. Super helpful. Different ad sets. Got to bite the bullet for ads. One campaign setup. Oh, mate, you guys have learned so much. All right, team, thank you so much. I've really had a lot of fun. Boot campers, appreciate you being in here. Hopefully you guys learned a lot as well. If you have any questions about this boot campers, ask in the school community. More than happy to help you guys out. And all the other guests, thank you so much. And for those that just joined the boot camp, I am looking forward to working with you guys. That's it. I'm going to go. Over and out, team. Enjoy the rest of your day, evening. See you later.